Hello, my name is Sean. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. Lots of cool comic book stuff. And today we're going to be taking a look at the DC Comics style guide. This is a reissue. This thing, of course, was never meant to be seen by the public, but it's basically a portfolio of art that was going to be used as key art and reference for several different marketing materials and licensing materials like pillowcases or whatever, like, action figures and other kinds of art, out in the public. And so all this art was created by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. And this was the reissue that came out a few months back. Pretty neat stuff. It comes with this little banner here. This banner, basically, it's not really a dust jacket, it's just basically a banner. And this was all restored and reissued by a company that's not about comic books, but they are about preserving art. You see here, Warner Communications. Let's take a look inside. First published in 1982 by DC Comics, New York. Reissue published in 2024. And, this was meant to be a portfolio internally distributed, so very dry, table of contents here about this book. Introduction, inside the DC Comics Style Guide, DC Comics Style Guide reissue. About this book, so they talk about how they discovered this stuff and wanted to publish it for the public. Here's the binder that would have, adorned all this stuff. This is all just like rippling effect of the plastic around the binder. Binders. Here's a great picture of the staff at DC Comics. Pretty cool stuff. Very casual. Looks like a bunch of bar stools. Here's an introduction by Paul Levitz. And here's more introduction by Paul Levitz. And so Jose Luis Garcia Lopez did most of the art here, tried to pull it all together and come up with something that was consistent and yet eye-catching. So here are scans of the actual binder pages. You see here the tabs. And use the style guide, so this is all dry stuff. Pretty cool. There's a different coding for what you're about to see. Page coding, divider sheets, artwork, character sketch. Here you see the wire BKs and all this. Here you got like the different percentages of coloring here. Graphic design note, DC Comics Style Guide, quality control guidelines. So yes, this is all just dry documentation, but it's pretty interesting to look at. Superheroes trademark represents a particular group of characters, so you see superheroes is two words. It's not joined together by the hyphen. And here you got your colors. This is pretty neat, pretty interesting stuff to look at. You see here, what took me back was Batman's blue is Cayenne 2. You see here. I'm pretty sure that Superman's red is the magenta here. It's pretty neat to look at all these. In my day job, I work with these kinds of colors, and it's interesting to see what the different colors are. This Pantonian is the process as well. It's pretty neat. This is a great page. Here you got the color substitution chart, and you've got all these different characters. Now, in addition to the traditional comic book characters, there are also a line of merchandise with babies, because the baby craze hit in the 1980s with the Muppet Babies, and everything had to be babies, right? So you probably remember some merchandise with these characters. It's interesting that Adam is even smaller than the babies. Also, draw your attention to the Teen Titans. Big sellers in comics. Didn't really get their own cartoon. I mean, they had a cartoon in the 60s that wasn't this team. Didn't really get their big break, but were big sellers in comics, and therefore were like in the forefront of merchandising as well. You here have the villains here. So here's the note to licensees. We've made some changes in the basic color specs for Superman and Lois Lane, and would appreciate your noting the following. I think it has to do with their hair or something like that. Yeah, the highlights in their hair. So each character has their own tab to show off the key art for that character. So here's Superman. Here's the basic gist of Superman rocketed to Earth. Blah, blah, blah. And you got Supes. Let's see if the others... got Lois Lane key art. Superman key art. So some of this stuff is not in color, but you see the 80s Supergirl at the time with the bandana and everything. And here, interestingly enough, same art, but like a different Supergirl with a lapel S. And you got Superboy as well, and Crypto were part of merchandising at the time. This is just before Crisis, but DC knew what was marketable. You've got Superman key art, pretty neat. And here it is in color. This is a job for Superman. Some of this would be stickers as well. Last Son of Krypton. And also t-shirts would have had this kind of stuff as well. Though I can't find these designs in t-shirts. These would make great t-shirts. Man of Steel. Superman with some art decoing around him. Fantastic Superman shots here. Yeah, him busting through these chains is pretty popular, although a similar image adorns most of the Kryptonite No More stuff. But this would have been t-shirts at the time. You see the TV studio in the background here of the time in the comics. Locomotive, more busting chains. Patriotic stuff. He wages a never-ending fight for truth, justice, and the American way. Trademark. Not anymore, but Man of Tomorrow. Pretty cool with a crazy chair here. Love the giant key and everything for the Fortress of Solitude at the time. Of course, the Supermobile with the big arms. Superman. More Supes spying on Lois here. Lois Lane. Probably had some t-shirts as well. Nice camera here in the jumpsuit, looking a bit like April O'Neil. This is neat. Lois Lane wins Pulitzer. Hard work paid off. Here's Supergirl with the bandana look. More bandana look. Supergirl, and you see, I don't know if they're saying that this yellow S is on the cape or on her back. The cape is see-through, so you can see her back and everything. You got Lex Luthor in his Lexor power suit. You've got the new Brainiac at the time. You got Superman versus Mixie's Pitlick. So here's some of the villains here. Phantom Zone villains. Feora, perhaps Zod, or Zod. This is Zod. I don't know. I can't remember that. There were different names in the comics. Lena Lang. If they were ever to license her out for T-shirts and stuff. So here's Batman. You got classic Batman here. And you got the same thing without color. And without his cape, so you could see the back of him. You got Robin. Classic Robin. 1982. Classic Robin. Classic Batgirl. 1982. Villains who were all, after the TV series, just a part of the Batman brand. You've got Catwoman with her cape, Riddler, Joker, Penguin. Same things in color. These would have been T-shirts. More T-shirt designs. Bruce Wayne is the Batman. You see a classic Batmobile that's not as stylized as today. And the logos, of course, classic logo. Robin logo. Pretty neat. Batman in action. More Batman in action. Batman. More Batman. I would love to have t-shirts of all of these designs. They're pretty neat. Batman and Robin. Batgirl. More t-shirt designs. The vehicles, the Batcopter, of course, Batplane, before it got more stylized with the movie, Batmobile, Batgirl and her Batcycle, the three of them, pretty neat. More villains, same ones, Catwoman, Riddler with a crazy logo, Penguin, Joker. Batman versus these guys, got the big giant mallet. So here's Wonder Woman. And here's the write-up for Wonder Woman, and, you know, she's from Themyscira and all that. There's a classic Wonder Woman. Same thing in black and white. More Wonder Woman. And this would have been t-shirts, perhaps. This is a cool design here. Here's Steve Trevor. Of course, still popular from the TV series of the time. It would have been in syndication in 1982. Perhaps some t-shirt designs. Wonder Woman. Classic design work here. Like the grapes and all that stuff here. Yeah, she wasn't really flying at this point, but, like, you know, a lot of characters were depicted as flying and they weren't. Here's she's fighting a spaceship or something. Pretty neat. There's more t-shirt designs. Or some sort of designs. Maybe puffy stickers and things. Puffy stickers were really big at this time. Cool different designs and poses and different logos. Here's Wonder Woman versus Cheetah. Cheetah got her big break in Super Friends. Wasn't really that popular until, like, her appearance in Challenge of the Super Friends. And here we'll take a look at Shazam, and then I think I'll do a second part of all this. So, of course, Shazam was not part of DC and then got folded in, but, welcome addition. Here they have all the, the wisdom of Solomon, got strength of Hercules, stamina of Atlas, power of Zeus, all that stuff. So, the background of the character is part of the package. Of course, you've got the design work. Pretty neat stuff. You've got the family. Yeah, the character was in a Filmation cartoon around this time. Also before that was a live action show. So he was in the public eye quite a bit. He was Mr. Mind and Dr. Savannah. Really cool, like, fanciful, very appealing artwork for the character. It was supposed to be more childlike. So next time we'll dive into Justice League and all the rest of it. I think I'll end this video here, and we'll take a look at the rest of the marketing material of 1982 from the DC Comics Style Guide next time. So until next time, take care.